What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. Look, this is gonna be your review for Chasing Dallas season 4, episode 7. I think we're on. Not, I don't know. It'll be right in the description box. But listen, so we started this episode off. First of all, before I get into this episode, let me say this. Shout out to Astro. Shout out to you, sir. The main part of this episode was your event. I can say it was the main part, but it was the main part. It was your event, and I want to give you kudos, congratulations. We'll get to that, but before I forget, I just want to say that. Okay, let's get into this, chat. Let me get to my notes, because y'all was doing a whole lot in this episode, and I ain't going to be here all night with y'all. So, we have Ted Lee and Jet Jeff down to the nail salon, getting to know each other better. They talked about their relationships. Now, Ted Lee, listen. You know I like you, boo. But Ted Lee, a lot of people keep talking about your situationships, okay? Now, we started off with George calling it out. And just because one person said it, it don't make it true. But by the end of this episode, child, everybody done called you out about having all these men's. Now, we know you're freshly divorced. And listen, if you single or you in a situation and everybody understand their part, then that is what they do. Ain't no problems with that. But everybody keeps talking about how many men you got. Okay? Jet Jeff. And let me tell you something else, Jet Jeff. Now, people whispered in my ear to watch out for you. People whispered in my ear and said, you gotta watch Jet. Jet is shady. I said, Jet is shady. Jet, you shady. I saw it all up and through this episode. You are shady, okay? But you shady in a cute way because you cute. You shady in a messy kind. You just shady, but we'll get to that. But you was shady throwing out there about Ted Lee, and then you're going to say, I mean, I don't know if I should listen to relationship advice from him, but he does have a lot of men. He does have a lot of men. Okay. So then, they talked about, Jeff was talking about not having a dad and having to figure things out on his own. And Ted Lee said, he said, I honestly can say that, a lot of the person that I am is the fact that my parents that raised me, and I feel like it was a good conversation. What else did they talk about? Let me look at my notes, child. Oh, and then Jet Jeff invited Ted Lee to his video shoot. He invited everybody. He said, listen, I don't have no beef with nobody. So, people have beef with each other. That's on them. But I'm going to invite everybody. Okay? So that was a cute little get to know you scene. So then we see Astro beating up with his friends from Greensboro. So first of all, let me give a shout out to the Greensboro crew. I am not from Greensboro, but I did live in Greensboro for 6 years of my life. I went to college in Greensboro. I hung out for a couple of years after I graduated. And to be honest with you, I loved living in North Carolina. I didn't love not making no money in North Carolina. Because teachers already don't make no money, but damn, North Carolina don't pay nothing. No disrespect to my teacher friends in North Carolina, but y'all know y'all ain't making no money. So, Astro shows up. Baby, listen, not only did his friends show up for him, but they drove 16 hours to show up for him. So I want to say this. He said he wanted to do this event in Dallas. He wanted to highlight the art, the artsy community out of Greensboro. He said because there's a great scene there, but he also wanted to, showcase and let Dallas know what he had going on. Let me say something to you, Astro. I don't think you do take for granted what your friends did for you. It is no small feat when your friends show up for you, but it's even more of a accomplishment when they show up and they drive 16 hours to do it. It's one thing if they got on a plane. It's like a 2-hour plane ride from Greensboro, maybe 2.5, a couple of $100. But for them to load up their car and take them shifts and drive 16 hours, that is a testament to you, a testament to the type of person you are, because for somebody to do that for you means that they believe that you would do it for them. So I have to just say kudos and all of that. Astro, 2 things. One, do you ever wear drawers? And 2, baby, as an educator, I really don't want to make fun of the way you say community, Because I noticed you do that with a lot of words that start with C. So I feel like, it's deeper than that. But every time you say community, it just cracks me up. I'm sorry. Moving on. So we have a scene with them at the Airbnb, him welcoming them to the city and checking in with them and everything. We found out that the event is sold out. And later on, Jet Jeff, Kesey, and Dior show up. Dior's helping Astro with his fashions. You know what? This moment did something for me too. First of all, let me say I was loving Dior in this episode. We're going to get to that, but I was loving Dior in this episode. But you know what else I loved? Dior bought bought Astro some fashions. Astro said, listen, my wardrobe is limited. I have a performance. I'm performing twice. I kind of need some stuff. And Dior came through with some fashions for me. He pulled some stuff out of his closet for me to wear. And I just, that's what this is all about. It is all about building this family, building this brotherhood, and I loved seeing it. I loved this whole moment. I really did. And I just loved this whole idea, and I loved seeing Astro and his friends. I just can't say that enough. Like, real talk. Astro, I hope you're watching this review when you receive all of this. But I love seeing that. So shouts out to you too, Dior. I love the fact that you bought him stuff to wear for his performance. And that Astro was honest and opened up about needing the help. A lot of times people don't say anything. So anyway, that was a moment. Then they got drunk and they went out and party, child. And that's what you're supposed to do, child. When you in a new city, that's what you're supposed to do. We saw Ted Lee show his friend a house. Now let me say this. Yeah. I mean, it was a work scene. It was what it was. I don't know how convinced I was that he really put no contract down on that house. But it was a cute work scene. We got to see Ted Lee doing his thing, showing the house, giving you the square footage and the tub and all, marble floors and stuff. Gated community. It was nice. It was cool. It was cool. So then we get to the Dallas Takeover event. Everybody performed. We saw everybody perform. Let me deal with the inside before I get to the outside. So, everybody performed. I loved Astro's performance, but I have to agree with Robert Ray. First of all, shout out to Robert. Listen. Okay, hold on. The way Robert had me in this house cackling the whole fucking episode. Robert, your confessionals are 100% better than your confessionals from last year. Baby, you gave a shout out to Astro. You said he got it. He's got that it factor. He know how to ride a beat. He knows how to deliver a lyric, which I can agree with you 100%. And he knows how to move the crowd. Like, he's dancing. He's active. He's in it. But I agree with you. I do feel like his performance needs something. Maybe some background dancers, because he can move a crowd on his own. Don't get me wrong. But I do feel like it's something. He needs a little to take him over the finish line a little bit. So I'm with you on that one, Robert. Jet Jeff. I like Jet Jeff. I'm supposed to be interviewing Jet Jeff soon. I hope this doesn't ruin the interview. Let me say this about you. I like your music. I don't know what was going on with that performance. I understand that they were probably playing the track. And I know they were recording and all that. Look, I'm just gonna say it. Your mouth wasn't matching your lyrics. And you moved the mic down while you were still talking, bring the mic up. And, sir, if you lip syncing, you got to lip sync. You got to remember that you lip syncing. And that doesn't mean listen, it was given very Milli Vanilli. And if you don't, y'all probably don't know that reference. I'm too old for this. But it was given very Milli Vanilli. Your mouth was here. The words were over here. The words were over here. Your mouth was over here. I'm going to need you. When you know you have to lip sync to a song, you have to remember you are lip syncing to your song. I know it's your real song. I know it's your real, it's actually you rapping. Like, I know it's you. So I'm not taking anything away from the music. But when you are performing, you can't get so caught up in the dance moves and the background dances that you forget that you are still delivering a song. Now, it may be the way it was edited. No disrespect to the editor, Dario. But something was off for me. But I still like the song, and I still like you, Jet. The person you had was T Dollar somebody. Baby, they bought it. I don't know who that person is, but they bought it, okay? They bought the performance. They was giving energy. They low-key almost upstaged your background dancers. You might want to check into that, okay? But they performed. Now, this is what's going on the inside. I'll get to the outside in a second because it was a whole nother situation outside. Shout out to my boy Carrie D. I saw Carrie D in the crowd. We saw Kesey perform. Then we saw him do his song that he has with Lyndon. And I love that song. I saw on Kesey's Instagram that they were recording a video for that, so I'm looking forward to seeing that visual drop. We saw the performances from Astro's friends from Greensboro, and they gave some great performances. I can only imagine that was a nice night. I know it ran late. I could tell that people were talking about how it ran late, but it was a nice night. It was a really nice night. What else went on this side before I get outside, child? Because outside is a whole situation. And then we had the performance of Jet Jeff, Kesey, and Astro, which I thought went really well. I guess that was the finale. So I feel like everything went well on the inside. It was everybody. I didn't hear anybody say anything negative about the show. I really heard a lot of positive things about the show, and I'm here for it. I think that was cool. Okay, now let's talk about what was going on outside. Let me say this. I've been watching enough reality shows, and I have reviewed enough reality shows that I recognize that people were going outside so they could film these scenes because there was music inside and it was loud inside. I understand that. However, it still it doesn't replace the fact that there was a lot of shady shit going on outside. So first of all, we have Trey outside with, what was it? Trey, Ted Lee, Sean, Jet Jeff, give or take. I don't know. I think that's everybody. Everybody was there except for Londi and Kiki, I think. I think everybody else was there. So, Trey makes mention of the fact that this is a diss song. And, does Robert Ray know? Do they know that it's a diss song? So, somebody goes to get... Hold on, let me look at my notes because I want to make sure I'm doing this in order because there was a lot of foolishness going on. So, outside, Sean and Jet diss... Okay, video shoot. Jet Jeff invited everybody to the video shoot. And they were talking about the diss line. Now, originally, Jet Jeff said it's just like a line. I think he kept saying verse because he was just kind of getting it mixed up. But he said a line. But now Trey started it. Let's be clear. Trey started it. Trey, you was messy boots. You started this whole situation. But Jet, you did not clearly articulate the situation. Because you did make it seem like each one of y'all dissed somebody. You did make it seem like that. At first, you said it was just a line. You did say that at first. But then it seemed like it evolved into something else, right? So we're going to put a pin in that. Ted Lee, now listen. Ted Lee, I know you're a bougie bitch, okay? I know that you are a bougie bitch. And let's be clear. When I pull up places and it don't look too kosher, I be feeling the same way. My friends say I'm a little bougie, okay? I don't think I'm bougie, but that's what they say. But what you can't do, Ted Lee, let me tell you what you can't do. You can't stand outside somewhere talking about it's a little hood and it's a little suspect and your ass is standing there drinking out of a brown paper bag. That's what you can't do. You cannot, Ted Lee. You can't do that because if that ain't some old hood shit, I don't know what is. You just drinking out of a brown paper bag talking about something. Yeah, this place look a little suspect. You the suspect. Drinking out of a brown paper bag. You can't do that, Ted Lee. Then, once again, they got to talking about Ted Lee's men. But come to find out, Sean got a little bit of tea. So Teddy, he got the boo with the beard that we done met, all of that. But then it seemed like he had another situation down to the Snapchat. Now, he said that was his best friend. They hadn't seen each other in a while. And, that's all it was. And people need to stop jumping to conclusions because he posts a lot of people on his page and it don't mean nothing. Well, then Sean was like, oh, okay, because, I know your friend and you know that I know your friend because my friend know your friend very well. Well, baby, come to find out, Teddy's man, the one we met already, down to the situation with George, he had an entanglement with Sean's friend. And it sounded, listen now, Sean, you kind of incriminated yourself a little bit. Let me tell you how you did that. Because you were like, yeah, he took me and his boyfriend or whomever, friend, boy, whatever, took me and my friend out, showed us a good time, took us on a very nice excursion, drove us around in his luxury vehicle, and then came back to our hotel room. What was going on in the hotel room, Sean? Was you a part of what was going on in the hotel room? Just saying. What was you doing there? You ain't get your own room? They ain't get no own room? I'm just saying. I just find that interesting. Moving on. But Teddy was like, listen, I'm not tripping. I was a married man at the time, so I wasn't, free and clear. So if he had a situation going on over here, that's his business. I'm not tripping. I'm not mad. I'm not judging because it is what it is, right? Now, while they outside talking, Jeff goes inside to get ready for his performance. He backstage. He trying to give all the tea to Astro. Child, Astro could care less. Jeff, that was messy. You go back and now you spilling to him everything that was said outside. Astro is trying to get himself together. He is getting ready to perform. He is in a zone. The last thing he wants is all this gossip that's going on outside. Why would you do that, Jeff? That was real messy. That was very... See, look, this is how y'all always get me running my mouth. It's 17 minutes and I still got a lot to say. Hold on, buckle up. We're going to get there. All right. So I just said he was being messy. I wrote a note, but I think that's for something else. Okay. So then somebody went and got Robert Ray and DeAndre to tell them that they was outside talking about this whole this record situation. Now let me say this. Y'all know I can give credit where credit is due and I can be honest when it needs to be addressed. I felt like DeAndre was there on some real positive vibes. I don't feel like Andre was trying to be messy. Andre wasn't throwing shade. Now, once again, we don't have a confessional from DeAndre, so I don't know what would have been said in the confessional. I feel like it would have been shady as fuck. But in this case, I would have been cool with it because Teddy was throwing shade at what DeAndre had on. DeAndre had on some Toms and this, that, and the other. Now, DeAndre, the only thing I'm gonna say about that is earlier on you was talking about how well you dress, but I just haven't seen it. And it's okay if you want to wear Toms because let me tell you, I'm a Croc wearing hoe. Okay, I went from 0 pairs of Crocs pre-COVID to I probably got about 9 pairs of Crocs now post-COVID. Okay, because baby, any chance I get, I'm sliding on a pair of Crocs and I'm keeping it moving. And I got color coded. I got what they call them things, gibbets, whatever. I am not playing with the Crocs, okay? So I'm not tripping off of that part. But here we go, Teddy once again being shady. Now to Teddy's credit, when somebody asked him was he being shady, he was like, "Yep, I said it. I was being shady. Yep, it was me." But it was unnecessary shade. It just wasn't necessary. If y'all had the whole little kumbaya meeting with Oliver, and then y'all had the Kiki ball where everybody seemed like they had a good time. It just seemed unnecessary to be shady. It seemed unnecessary to bring up that the song had this thing in it to DeAndre. Now Sean and Jeff had already talked it out, but Robert Ray was like, "Who dissing me?" He was, first of all, Robert, what you gonna do is stop coming up with nicknames for Trey. Last week it was Timon. Now this week you calling that boy Master Splinter? That's why I can't. When I tell y'all Robert had me in this motherfucker rolling. Master Splinter? Anyway, Robert was like, listen, I know nobody was dissing me. I know I ain't in nobody's diss track because they know better than that. Now, some people might feel like Robert was coming off a little cocky or a little arrogant, but I really feel like Robert meant that. And, you know, Robert just kept saying, listen, if it's going to be a situation, if we going to have to fight. Like, if it's going to be a situation, we just going to have to fight. And Robert said later on in the episode, he was like, some people talk with their mouth. I talk with my hands, and that's just what it is. Like, I don't do no whole lot of rah-rah. Like, I really don't. And I think that that's just who he is. Like, everybody got that friend that you don't want to invite nowhere because it's going to always be a fight. I feel like Robert is that friend. Like, he a good time, but you know that at any given time, it could be a fight. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all a real short story. Just a short story. One weekend, went to New York with some friends. This is a short, listen, there's a longer version on my channel, but this is the short version of the story. And we went to this club in New York, and the people I was hanging with, you know, they was VIP kind of people, right? I ain't gonna get too deep into it, but they was VIP kind of people. And there was a professional basketball player there and some other situations. We are there, we are having a good time. All of a sudden, we hear commotion, and we see people outside fighting. And without any of us looking outside of that window to see, we knew exactly who was fighting. And we knew that they were part of our group. And we just picked up our shit and got ready to leave. Because we already knew it was over. We knew it was a wrap. We knew the night was over. Why? Because even though these people were a good time, this particular dude, he's gone now. Rest in peace. Even though this dude, he was a good time. He going to give you VIP treatment. He going to get you in the best clubs and the best spots. You knew that at any given moment, he was going to get into a fight and the shit was going to be over. Okay? That's Robert. Robert is probably a good time, but I believe everything he say when he say that his hands be getting dirty. I just believe that. So Robert got irritated. Him and DeAndre really got irritated because they were like, first of all, we in there, we having a good time. Y'all done called us out here, first of all, to be messy, to talk about it's a diss song. Like, first of all, that wasn't even necessary. It wasn't necessary to repeat, wasn't necessary to say. And why y'all bring us out here for that? Now, granted, we know they brought you out there to film the scene, but it was just shady. So Robert is irritated with Trey because he feel like Trey started it, which to a certain extent, like I said, Trey, you did. You started the whole thing, sir. But why Robert go say, Robert threw a little casual comment at Sean, talk about something, your safety pin showing. Baby, Sean ass harped on that safety pin. You would think that Robert called his mama bald-headed. The way Sean harped, he was like, I mean, you would think you supposed to be a father. And I don't think he meant father like his daughter. I think he meant like gay father. Like, you know, he said, because he even said, he if you listen to what Sean said, you could, in context, he was talking about being a gay father. He wasn't talking about, he said, you know, why wouldn't you uplift me? Why wouldn't you tell me that my safety pin was showing? Why would you kind of throw it at me as a read? And then later on, after they went inside and they came back outside, Sean gonna walk up on Robert and say, I just want to clear this up about this safety pin. Like, I just don't understand. I said, the look on Robert's face was like, for real, my nigga? Like, you really up here talking to me about this damn safety pin again? Like, that's what we're doing? Like, we're gonna talk about this safety pin? Like, that's what we're doing right now? And it became a whole situation to the point where DeAndre and Robert walked away, and Trey and Robert got into it, and Robert said in his confessional, like, for real, it's really off the strength of my relationship with Dior, because if not, I probably would have, you know, like, I'd already popped Trey, because I really feel like he being messy, and he trying to start some shit, and I'm just really not here for it. So Robert and DeAndre ended up leaving, which I can respect, because, again, I felt like DeAndre was there on some real positive vibes, and Robert was really trying to stay positive. So, anyway, there's that. Then they brought up Tedley, a rumor that Tedley was, him and Londi were closer than they were. I just think that was a lie. I mean, again, I'm not around them, so I don't know where they got that from, but okay, child. But Tedley was like, no, Londi is like my friend. And it was Jeff, shady ass, that brought it up. Robert said that he felt like Trey was moving funny. So anyway, they get to Jeff Jett's video shoot. And, some of what I just said was at Jeff Jett's video shoot. We have Robert, Tedley, and Londi filming, and that's when all that came up about the rumor and him saying that Trey was moving funny. Um, then we have Sean, Dior, and Trey. And Trey is talking to Dior about what happened. And I'm with Dior on this one. Dior was like, you know what? I am so glad that I did not go out there. Because, like, we were all like, you know, we were here. It was a great event. I was there minding my business, the business that pays me. Like, you know, I really don't care what other people think. But I am Kesey's manager. So that is what I was doing. I was managing. And then y'all left and didn't even say goodbye, and I felt some kind of way about it. He was like, all that y'all was doing was real extra and unnecessary. And Trey, listen, y'all know I love my Trey, but Trey, you was being messy as hell. And then when you relayed the story, you really didn't relay it as accurately as it needed to be relayed, because you didn't make it seem like you tried to take away your culpability in it, but you were messy. You really, really were. Robert wasn't being extra. You tried to make it seem like Robert was being extra and unnecessary, and he really wasn't. He wasn't being extra. He wasn't being unnecessary. He really was addressing the situation as it needed to be addressed, okay? So Dior kind of really shamed y'all. He was like, it's a mess. You know, we came off with some real positive vibes, and then y'all was back on this bullshit. Like, it was unnecessary. It was sad, and you know, I'm really not happy to hear that this is how it went down. So Sean went up to Robert to apologize, and he apologized to DeAndre, and he apologized to Robert. Child, he was still talking about that damn safety pin, but Sean, you in that damn safety pin? What? Why? What? That safety pin was really making you feel some kind of way. But he did apologize. I'll give him credit for that. He did apologize. I feel like that's where the episode ended, child. That was pretty much it. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think, and I will talk to y'all later. Again, shouts out and congratulations to Astro on a really nice and successful event, okay? Talk to y'all later. Peace.